Hello, welcome back. I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I'm doing a daily planning routine, kind of vlog, I guess. And every day is different, but today is a really average day. I figured I would just kind of show you guys what my morning looks like and how I check in with my planner throughout the day. So this is after I've already completed my morning routine. I've had my coffee, I've let my dogs out, I've gotten ready for the day, and now I'm ready to sit at my desk, log on to my computer, and the first thing I do is I check or set up my inbox system, which is actually a memo board that is stuck to my desktop monitor. And if I have anything coming up or any important deliverables or deadlines or appointments for the day or for the week, all of those are put directly to my inbox, and then I schedule them into my planner at some point, either that day or later that week. I like to give myself a little bit of time just to make sure that nothing is getting canceled or rescheduled. And after I've confirmed a meeting or an appointment or something, then I go ahead and add it to my agenda. Usually have music or a podcast on while I'm kind of getting set up for the day. This is kind of like my intro to the workday. So I'm just getting set up here and kind of organizing my space a little bit. I like to start my day off with a clear desk space, and I'm still using the same desk that I showed in my work from home video, and I love this desk. It's from FlexiSpot, and it's one of the rising desks. I love a rising desk because it just gives you a little bit of flexibility and a customization option for your work from home desk, and I love that because every day sitting in the same chair in the same apartment can get a little bit redundant. So at least being able to kind of adjust it a little bit helps. And I also love that this has a drawer. My last desk did not have a drawer, and I use this as a multifunctional space. So when I'm not using my computer, I'm usually journaling or planning or doing something crafty at my desk. So a lot of the times I tuck my keyboard and my mouse pad into the drawer so I have a little bit more room so it's out of the way but safe and secure. And recently I've been starting out my day in a standing position and doing my planning standing up and then lowering my desk back down for the rest of my workday. I don't know, it just gives me a little bit of something different for the day, and I really appreciate that. I don't use a daily plan every day, but I do plan every day, if that makes sense. So even if I'm just planning on a notepad or some sticky notes, I do plan every single day, but I don't necessarily use a daily insert every day. But today I feel like I have a lot to do. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit confused on when I need to do certain things, and a few things that are still kind of up in the air for today. So I'm going to use a daily plan, and how I usually start out is by checking my weekly section first, because a lot of times I like to check what my weekly tasks are and see if I can kind of schedule out some of the priority tasks into today if they work with today's schedule. And I also reference some of my notepad pages. I use a ton of these little notepad sheets, and these are notepads from my line Casavici, but I use these all the time. And I also use my task cards on a daily basis. They're so helpful for me. So today, for example, I am using one of my meeting task tabs to block off time in my schedule. I have a meeting planned later today, but we didn't land on a time yet. I just gave a window of availability, so I'm waiting for a text or an email a little bit later this morning to see when they're available, and when they reach back out to me, then I'll go in with a pen and write it into my schedule, but I still want to be able to plan around that. So I don't want to double book myself. I want to keep that time blocked off, but I still want to be able to kind of plan out the rest of my day. So this is one of the reasons that I love the task card system and the tentative planning strategy. It really allows you to have some flexibility and some flow in your day, and it's been so helpful for me because I hate crossing things out in my planner. I'd rather just tentatively plan it and write it in later. So these are the daily plan inserts that I use from Infinite Lotus. I've tried other daily plans, but I always go back to these because they have everything I need. At the very top, you have a lined today section, you have 5 top priorities, and then you have a huge schedule section, which is great. So you have 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. time slots, and then a giant task list right next to that. And then you also have lined notes. So these have a ton of space, especially in A5 size. So to start the day, I like to write down my top 5 priorities, and those are usually time-sensitive tasks. So for example, meetings, calls, deadlines, communications, appointments, things like that have to be done by a certain time. If a business closes at a certain time, like the post office or my dog's vets, like those things are kind of time sensitive, so I make those a priority versus like my cleaning list. I can do that in the morning, I can do it at night, I can really do it whenever. So top priorities are usually time sensitive. And in the line today section, I usually like to put in something positive to start the day. Today happened to be the start of the full moon in Virgo, which I'm kind of excited about, so I wanted to write that down and do some manifesting and do a little journaling. Other days I like to put in weather if there's going to be good weather, because that kind of sets me up to be positive about the day, and it inspires me to make plans outside of my normal to-do list. So instead of walking my dogs, maybe we'll go to the park or visit family or friends or plan to do something fun. So on the schedule portion here, I've kind of outlined my day with things that I can add in right away. So I know when I wake up, I know when I'm going to start prepping for dinner, I know about what time that meeting is going to be, but other than that, I don't have a ton of information to add to that schedule section. So the rest of my tasks are going to go in the task list. So I'll just list out everything that needs to get done. I usually split up my task list into two sections. Usually it's like work and personal. Today it's kind of just like time sensitive things versus tasks I want to get done. So I've got all of my like appointments I want to make, things that I want to do, and then a cleaning list at the bottom. And I got a text back about that meeting, and it's going to be for 1 o'clock. So I went ahead and removed the meeting task tab. I put it back on my task card and scheduled in the call for 1 p.m. And then I also went ahead and kind of planned out the rest of my morning. I wanted to do some admin, like emails, fill orders, things like that in the morning. And then I will leave the rest of my evening open, so in case something comes up and we decide to go somewhere or do something, I have room to add it in later. But like I said earlier, I plan every single day, but I don't use a daily plan every single day. So sometimes it's enough for me to just work off of my weekly plan, which I love and it's very helpful for me. Some days I feel a little bit more overwhelmed and I need a daily plan to actually list out and time out when I'm going to get certain things done. And other days, notepads work just as good. That's why I love having undated dailies in my planner, so whenever I need them, I can use them, but I'm not committed to using one every single day because they're dated. So now that I have my plan completed for the day, I can kind of check back in with it and work off of my plan. And later in the day, I kind of tidy up my workspace. I put everything away where it belongs for tomorrow. And then I also make a brief plan of what I think tomorrow might look like. And that's usually just on a piece of notepad paper. And I go ahead and add it to my inbox. And I will work off of that right in the morning and kind of start this whole cycle over again. I like to have at least a few of the top topics for the day on my inbox. So the first thing when I wake up, I go at my office and I can kind of see what the priorities are already. If anything changes, there's no harm done. I can just add it to my planner or omit it from my planner if it's canceled. I don't have to worry about crossing anything off, but I still have kind of my top items for the day listed and in a place where I know where I can find them. But I also use this for putting on appointments. I usually use sticky notes or I put in some sort of appointment card like from Infinite Lotus. And I've also used my task cards with this as well. For example, I've been meaning to schedule Sunny's vet appointment. He's due for vaccines later this month. And I kept forgetting, so I just added a schedule task tab to my inbox, and I know that that's the one thing that I've been meaning to schedule but haven't gotten to it. So when I wake up and I see the schedule task tab, it reminds me that that's the one thing I need to do today. So I made the appointment and then I can just return it back to my task card because I will probably need to use it again in the next couple weeks to schedule another appointment. So that's a pretty average day for me. I don't always use a ton of systems and planning tools, but generally speaking, I use either a notepad, a daily plan, or just my weekly spread to get things done. I hope it was helpful to kind of see how I plan and how I use my inbox system now. And I have more systems coming very soon to Casavici, which is my new line of planning systems and solutions. I'm so excited about the next launch. We just had some new releases come out and some restocks. So if you didn't get any of the items that you were hoping to get on the soft launch, those should be available right now. I will leave links below. But definitely sign up for our email newsletter because we have more systems and more fun things coming very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.